With the management of Saatvik Green Energy, we have with us Mr. Prashant Mathur, who joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Mathur. Thanks a lot for joining in. Well, first, we just state down the talking points that should fly by the screen: sustainability of the order momentum, pipeline, revenue growth, margin trajectory, as well as capacity addition plans. Well, Prashant, let's talk first about the order wins. I'm seeing quite a few is what you'll have disclosed on the exchanges. What is the updated order book?
Yeah, good morning, and happy to be again on the show. So the order book is quite strong, and recently we have started adding few more orders as we are looking forward to our cell and module manufacturing capacity addition, which is happening shortly in Odisha. So we will be declaring our order book along with the results, but the order book remains strong. And we see it again adding more and more orders as we go forward.
Okay, all right. Since you mentioned about the capacity, I think you had to add 4 gigawatt of module capacity, right? Has that happened? And give us the updated capacity, sir.
So our updated capacity is 4.8 gigawatt of module, along with the 2 gigawatt of encapsulant EP manufacturing, which is in Ambala. Our Odisha project is coming as on track. In the first quarter, and around the end of the first quarter, we'll be starting our module manufacturing, and which is 4 gigawatt. And around October is when we are expecting our cell manufacturing to start.
All right. So what does all of that do to your business in terms of numbers? Because, I'm looking at a revenue trend. FY23, you were a little over 600 crores. Thereafter, you went all the way up to 1100 crores. Last year, you went 2100 crores. In the first 9 months of this year, you've already done 3000 crores. With, the run rate at your which, it looks like you will obviously double the revenue over last year and get to closer to 4000 crores in FY26. With your capacity doubling, new capacity coming in, what's your target? One, where do you end FY26? And FY27, 28, what are the targets that you have on the revenue?
We have been growing at a CAGR of 88% over the years, and as you rightly said, 3,000 crores we had done in the first 9 months. So the numbers which you are saying will not disappoint. Rather, we'll be declaring our numbers, and numbers should be good. That's what I can say. And for the next year also, as our new capacities are coming online, we will continue to grow. Obviously, because of the Iran war situation, there are little doldrums in the market in terms of supplies. The input cost has risen up. But long term, what we see is that renewable energy, the focus will be more and more because ultimately energy crisis, which we are seeing right now, it's more important now that the market understands that renewable energy and local manufacturing is going to be key. So the backward integration, the entire ecosystem built up, and becoming energy independent is something which will be the focus of the government, and I think that is where we are also aligned with the vision of the Modi government.
All right. Since you just mentioned about the government's initiatives, the approved list of ALMM had come out for domestic manufacturers. Could you tell us how much is your order pipeline dependent on this ALMM?
So ALMM one. You cannot sell modules in India unless you are ALMM registered. So all the orders which are in India has to be ALMM. So we are completely aligned with it, and so is how the market is. ALMM 2 is going to be there from 1st of June. So we are now, since our cell manufacturing is also starting up, we already started booking orders. Recent order of 638 crore is for cells, which is going to be supplied till March 27. Once ALMM 2 comes in, the tenders and the market will shift towards domestically manufactured cell as well as modules.
What does all of this do to your margins? I mean, I'm just trying to understand the revenue compounding at the pace at which it is. You obviously have increased costs, and then there is a lot of pressures because of the competition that is coming in this space as well. So, do you think this 9 to 10% PAT margins, a little over 13% sort of EBITDA margin guidance that you've given, that's at risk, at least in the very near term, because of these constraints that we're facing globally?
It's difficult to give a forward-looking number as of now, but what we can say is we will definitely be working to defend the numbers which we have done in the past. And once cell manufacturing also starts, that will give us an additional, increase in our bottom line. But in the next year, obviously, it's going to be a fractional increase, but we will see improved margins over the years.
Okay, all right. Final question before we let you go. There's always this burning question, right? Are Chinese going to come and spoil the party? What kind of competition are you seeing from Chinese producers? And do you see it as a risk, or do you think the measures that are in place are enough to protect the domestic industry?
Well, actually, from 1st of April, China as reducing its export incentive, which they were giving to their exporters, which was 9% reduction. So what we see is that there is a price which is going to become very, very similar to what Indian cost will be. Obviously, they have some added benefits which we do not have as a manufacturer in India, but I think we can live with that kind of a gap. But you will see that in the coming period, Indian manufacturers will be very cost competitive to the Chinese. And as we are adding more and more, ecosystem build-up is happening, backward integration. So we also have ingot wafer policy, which has been announced recently. So that's also coming from 2028. So we are entirely building the ecosystem. And once you have the economies of scale coming in, we will see that the Indian cost versus the Chinese cost will become very, very similar once we have the economies of scales.
Okay, take that point. Thank you so much for joining in and detailing your business out. You've been growing revenue at over 80%. You project that to happen as well, but at this point, the only fly in the ointment is the cost, and on that you will try to defend your margins. Let's see how that pans out. Obviously, we will monitor the situation as we go along. For the markets, though, we briefly dipped below 50,000 on the Nifty Bank. It's a market